Overgrowth Ladder Edition with these two players. Couldn't really predict this one for you guys. It's going to come down to the builds they choose and their execution. Their execution being fairly good, I expect really anything could happen. That is not the right button. My bad. In the top right-hand corner of the map, we have our purple Protoss player. It is none other than a Wales, Shadver. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player, Mercury. Both players tied now. It has gone from a best of 3 to a best of 1. Whoever wins this one, as they say, takes all the marbles. So, okay, that's interesting. Shadver is going to hide something. You never really put that pylon there otherwise, just because it puts any structures that you initially build will be completely out of the protection of the photon overcharge. So there's only one reason to do this, and that's when you're going to kind of not exactly proxy, but you want to try and hide something from your opponent. Not expecting Mercury to fall for this. He's actually done a very good job of scouting his opponents and picking up on stuff like this in pretty much every match I've ever seen him play. He isn't doing anything particularly odd with his setup, just putting the pylon near his base. Anything weird there. Gateway goes down for both players. A little faster for Shadver, though. And it looks like Shadver is actually going for an early aggression build with fast warp gate, 3 gate. See how much he's able to get done with that. This does allow you to pick up tech in general a little bit quicker, but since you don't have as many minerals, it does kind of cut into your ability to keep up over time. Just a little bit. It is, however, incredibly, incredibly powerful against one-base aggressive plays. Certain ones. Not all of them. But it's one of those options that we see people whip out in show matches every now and again. Okay, we have the probe going to come up here. It's going to scout. It's going to see a total lack of any pylons around the central area, but he will pick up on this, the bottom right. So let's keep an eye on this probe here. See what Mercury is actually able to pick up on. He sees the gas, and there are the rest of the buildings. Now this setup, obviously making him a little bit suspicious. Trying to keep an eye on it down here. He sees the Cybernetics core finishing actually much earlier than his own. Zealot already out in play, and what is the reaction back home from Mercury? Immediately, basically just continuing with this setup, going for another gateway. So pretty much just wants to set it up so that he can keep up with the production over time. And here we have a third gateway coming down, as well as Chrono Boost being spent on the Cybernetics core, which he does see. Okay. So pretty much at this point, the only thing Mercury really needs to do is prepare for aggression. Don't know why he's putting this pylon here. I guess he wants to distract his units for a little bit, keep them locked into that place rather than walking across the map. Or he just really wanted to throw down some minerals at his opponent. Just throw 25 at him. Here, have 25 minerals. Not 100% certain what the point of that was, but we have a couple stalkers coming out now, as well as third gateway coming up. Production structures a little bit later. Warp gate quite a bit later than his opponent. Shadver actually just about to finish with his, but he doesn't have a pylon building. So unless he gets that down pretty much right now, he's not going to be able to take advantage of this early warp in too well. He's going to have to actually warp this back in at home. And boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Here comes the warp gate. And actually, no, it's just fairly decently timed out. Go figure. Looked like it was going to be kind of close. The warp gate's finished. The pylon finishes. Here comes the units. 4 stalkers and 1 zealot against 2 stalkers, 1 zealot, as well as a mothership core photon overcharge. Unlike a lot of other maps, though, this doesn't cover the ramp, so you can actually still get kind of inside the base. Slight army unit advantage for our purple Protoss player. Let's see how well he's able to capitalize on this. Going for the zealot immediately. Zealot picking up some of the fire from the photon overcharge. And now the units are going to huddle up at the top of the ramp here and pretty much just build up. Really, at this point, Shadver cannot engage. This photon overcharge adds way, way, way too much damage to our red Protoss player. More stalkers being warped in, as well as another zealot. Looks like he wants to try and fight him outside of the range of the photon overcharge. He's not quite making that happen. Photon overcharge getting to do a lot of work. We're seeing a couple stalkers early on in that fight. Both players actually coming away from that kind of equal, but with the defender's advantage being more present for defender's advantage. We're using weapons here. But the Mothership Core being here, as well as the extra DPS it provides, that does give, I believe, Mercury a slight edge in this fight. But here we go. A couple Zealots working to the front, though. It changes this completely. As now, pretty much the Stalkers are able to fire every single shot, whereas the Stalkers from Mercury are forced to constantly move back. More units being warped in, though. He's gone all the way up to 6 Stalkers now. 6 Stalkers versus 7 Stalkers. But he gets the first kill on the first one. More is being warped into the back of that. And Mercury has an incredibly nice concave here, and I think is actually going to decisively win this fight. Goes back to Stalker, micros it away, and with that done, it's GG.